Hey y'all, welcome to another edition of Kenny's Cantina, Eating in Style on the Road. Sorry for my delay in posting a new episode. It was a busy summer of travel, from Pennsylvania to Alabama to Washington State to British Columbia. There were lots of good meals on the way and time with friends, old and new. I also had a lingering case of COVID. Don't worry, it wasn't that bad, but I did have a cough and brain fog for a couple months that prevented me from being able to record a quality show for y'all. I'm much better now, and I apologize for my absence. If you want to know what I'm cooking and doing between episodes, please follow me at Kenny's Cantina on Facebook and Instagram. I update those sites a couple times a week. You can whet your appetite on what I'm cooking up for future episodes. I love the Pacific Northwest and make an annual trip there each year to visit family and friends. In and around Puget Sound is so beautiful. On a clear day, Mount Rainier is a sight to see. And hey, I'm a water person. I love the marinas and being on a boat. Spoiler alert, my next episode will include some great pics from my boat trip into British Columbia. Be sure and put this area on your bucket list. Today I'm cooking up some Cacio e Pepe, a tasty, easy pasta dish for some friends' 32nd anniversary. I met Scott and Laurie about 10 years ago at a marina on Bainbridge Island, Washington. They live aboard a 50-foot powerboat named Floatplane. When I heard they were celebrating their anniversary, I decided to give them a gift of a traveling chef. So Scott and Laurie, happy anniversary, and I'm glad you enjoyed your dinner. Cacio e Pepe is a very historic and traditional dish easily made by shepherds minding their flocks in the field. It's a simple dish that has a great flavor. The basic ingredients are cheese, black pepper, and pasta. All ingredients that the shepherds could easily carry with them. You will love this as a main course or as a side. My take is not quite traditional, but it does stay true to the original dish. Think of Cacio e Pepe as a light version of alfredo. It's also fantastic when topped with shrimp or chicken. The prep time for this is about 15 minutes. Cooking time, another 15 minutes. And what we're making today will serve 4 to 6 people. I store this in the refrigerator for up to a week. And hey, it's pretty affordable. It's only about $4 a serving. The ingredients for this, you're going to need 1.5 cups of grated Pecorino Romano cheese, a tablespoon of black pepper, 1 package of fresh pasta. You can substitute dry spaghetti for this. 1 cup of pasta water, 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 7 cloves fresh garlic, 1/2 a diced sweet onion, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and then some fresh basil for garnish. I'm going to start out by finely dicing the sweet onions. For this, I dice finer than I normally do. You really don't want to have big chunks of onion in it. Okay, let me set that aside. And then let's take some of the fresh garlic. Let's mince this. You know, often in my cooking, I use pre-minced garlic, but for this dish, the fresh garlic really is much better. All right, let's set that aside. Now, the next step, we're going to grate the cheese. The cheese, it's important that you finely grate it. Otherwise, your sauce is going to get a little clumpy. And Pecorino Romano cheese is a cheap cheese, and it's lighter when it's cooked up than a cow cheese is. This makes for a much lighter tasting dish than an Alfredo. All right, now that measures out. Okay, that's it for the prep. Pretty simple. Next, let's bring some water to boil for the pasta. Yeah, let me get the water in there. Turn on the flame, or turn on the burner rather, and I'll be back when that starts boiling. Water's boiling now, and I'm going to take the pasta and throw it in there, and I'm going to do that till it's al dente, so I'll be back a minute when that's done. Okay, doesn't take too long when it's boiling. And I'm going to take this off the burner and set it aside. Now, here's something important. Do not strain it. Leave the pasta in the water. We're going to use that starchy water in a little bit. Now, Laurie and Scott, I'm cooking in their boat, and they only have one induction burner on the boat, so I'm having to cook in stages. If you have multiple burners, you can begin sautéing of the onions and garlic while you're cooking the pasta. So let me get going here. Pan on, let me add some olive oil to that, and throw the onions in, and the garlic. All right, that's heating up. Oh man, I love the aroma of garlic and onions cooking. And oh, that smells so good. All right, give me a few minutes to get this done and I will be back. All right, it's only been about 5 minutes or so and these goodies are all sauteed. The onions are transparent. Now I'm gonna add a cup of the starchy pasta water to those onions and garlics. This is gonna help make the sauce. Now I'm gonna add the heavy cream. Add that in. And let me bring this to a simmer. I'm going to stir it quite often while it's going here. And heavy cream is not traditional, but I like to add it. The cream makes it a little easier to get a nice creamy sauce. Traditionally, it's made with just the starchy water. So if you want to go traditional, try it with just the starch water from the cooked pasta. All right, this has got a nice simmer on it now. Let's slowly add the cheese, and I keep stirring. What you want to do here is try to avoid any clumps. And I got that cheese in, it's melting, and it's still simmering as that sauce is thickening up some. We've got a nice creamy sauce there. Okay, next step, let's add the pasta. So I'm going to use tongs for this. It just works really good. And you notice I didn't drain the pasta. I'm just letting them drip over the top of the pot. And adding it into that sauce, and every time I put a little bit in, I kind of mix it up with the tongs. And keep adding that pasta. Any extra water that's in that is just going to add to the creaminess of the sauce. Let me get this all mixed up well. Make sure all that pasta is coated with the sauce. And the last step is we're going to add that black pepper into it. And let me mix that in. All right, that's all mixed up good. And let me take that off from the heat. All right, so that's all mixed up. Hey, it's pretty well done here. I'm just going to put the Cacio Pepe in a serving dish. Let me take some fresh basil and crumble that on top. And some grated cheese that just really adds to the appearance of the dish. Let me sneak a taste of this. This is so good. It's so creamy. And it's such a rich taste, but it's so much lighter than alfredo. You are going to love this. Serving recommendations, you got some choices here. One, you can do the traditional and just have the Cacio e Pepe as a great main dish by itself. For tonight, what I'm doing, I'm cooking up some shrimp and that I'm going to throw on top of it. So I'm going to use it as the base for the shrimp. I've also used it with chicken. Grill some chicken or pan fry some chicken and cut it up, diced chicken and lay that on top. Or hey, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. Salmon is plentiful. Everybody eats it all the time. So you can add salmon to the top of it and that goes really well as a heartier meal. And then also as a side dish, instead of putting things on top, I like to have it with chicken marsala and then have that as a side dish. Or here again, you can use the grilled chicken, salmon, or shrimp, not put it on it, but use it as a side dish. Couple tips for you. It doesn't take too long to make this dish once the pasta's cooked. So if you're serving Cacio e Pepe with something else, have the rest of your meal prepared first. That way, everything will stay warm. And the biggest tip of all is you need to really finely grate the cheese and add it slowly to avoid the clumping. You can do this and it'll be great, I assure you. Now the anniversary dinner was a great success. We ate al fresco on the deck of float plane looking out over the marina. I had prepared a charcuterie board as an appetizer and then prepared sauteed shrimp with mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, and some onions to go on top of the Cacio Pepe. So happy anniversary, Laurie and Scott. It was a pleasure to cook for you and share in your celebration. Now the anniversary dinner is complete, It's time to take a cruise on another friend's 46-foot Nordhaven powerboat for a 2-week excursion from Bainbridge Island, Washington to Desolation Sound, British Columbia. We've not been able to make the voyage for the last 2 years because of the border closings due to COVID. But this year, the border's open. So join me for the next episode for a boating edition of Kenny's Kantina. You'll get to see some beautiful views and learn to make my friend's signature boating cocktail, a pink Toby. You are going to love this cocktail on your party deck. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Kenny's Kantina. Remember, follow me on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date with what I'm cooking and doing in between episodes. I do enjoy sharing my cooking and experiences with you and love hearing from you all, so drop me a note. Thanks again for joining me on Kenny's Kantina. And Kenny's Kantina would not be possible without the Roadhog Media Network and IBC Productions. So a big thanks to them. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time on the water.